The Youth Law Center filed the 34-page formal complaint asking the Justice Department to investigate the use of pepper spray on more than 100 juveniles in San Diego County detention centers. The incidents came to light in a series of stories co-written by City Beat Associate Editor and reporter Kelly Davis. Kelly, welcome to Evening Edition.
Thank you.
Now, how many youths does this complaint identify were improperly pepper sprayed?
Well, they found dozens of instances where there was a questionable use of pepper spray, whether it was warranted, whether the youth was doing anything to provoke the use. And then there were 147 cases where kids, there was absolutely no justification to it. They were targeted by overspray, you know, when another detainee had been sprayed.
Give us some examples of who these youths were, maybe how old they are, and why the pepper spray was used on them.
The Probation Department justifies the use of pepper spray by saying it's to quell violence, to stop a fight, to protect the safety of staff or of other detainees. But we found a lot of instances where you know, a kid was suicidal and didn't immediately follow directions to strip and put on a suicide smock and was therefore pepper sprayed. Instances where probation staff assumed the kid was going to do something wrong, so it was kind of a preemptive pepper spraying. There was one case where a 12-year-old was pepper sprayed.
And I understand even in your article there was a group of girls actually pepper sprayed because they refused to strip in front of
a male guard. Yeah.
Right, male guards. Okay. Well, the County Probation Department oversees juvenile detention, and they declined to talk to us. They did email us saying that they welcome the opportunity to participate in any inquiry by the Justice Department. Did they speak to you?
No, my coworker, former City Beat staff writer Dave Moss, had started reporting on this in 2012, and at the time reached out to probation and asked for comments, asked to have questions answered, was even willing to, you know, provide the questions ahead of time, and they didn't respond. And once his story ran and KPBS, he came on KPBS to talk about it, they provided a statement calling it inaccurate, that it wasn't very balanced. And then once we saw the complaint from the Youth Law Center on Friday, it more than justified or supported everything Dave had been reporting before, and even went beyond in the descriptions of how some of these kids were treated.
And I know you mentioned the department's policy on pepper spraying is during violent outbreaks. Based on your research, were any of the reporter spray cases that you saw in this youth law complaint or an incidents report, were they justified?
There were far more cases of troubled kids who weren't following directions fast enough that got sprayed than actual instances where it was used to break up a fight. And a lot of cases where it was used to break up a fight, it didn't do anything. It didn't help, and probation staff had to get in there and physically intervene.
How does the use of pepper spray here in the county juvenile detention centers compare to that of other similar detention centers nationwide?
It's nationwide. About a little more than 70 juvenile justice systems don't allow guards to carry pepper spray at all. It's just not used. There are other methods to maintain control, maintain safety. So yeah, San Diego is definitely an outlier in not only using pepper spray, but the extent to which they use it.
Where does this Youth Law Center complaint go from here? There's a request by the Justice Department to investigate. And
I think it'll, within the next few weeks, the Justice Department will decide whether or not to move ahead with their investigation. If they do, they'll come in and inspect facilities, conduct interviews, and then decide whether, you know, whether the complaint is warranted and recommend policy changes, and that could take several months to a year, I think.
All right, and just to confirm what I said, it's actually the complaint to the Justice Department, and it's not stemming from the Justice Department.
Correct.
City Beat reporter and associate editor Kelly Davis, thank you.
Thank you.